All right, the book that I'm going to read this morning is The Little Engine That Could. And I chose this book because I have two grandsons, and they are 5.5 and 2.5, and they love Thomas the Train. So I thought you guys might like it. Actually, I chose a book that even had the color of Thomas the Train. So that's what I'd like to read to you this morning if I could. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then after we read, if we have some time, if you have questions or things you'd like to ask me, I'd be glad to do that, whatever time period we have. I understand we've got about 20 minutes, I think. So I'll go ahead and start if that's okay.
Yes.
All right. And I've never read this book. Have any of you guys read the book? You have? Oh, a lot of people have. Okay, so you know how it's going to end up, don't you? The Little Engine That Could by Watty Piper. That's an unusual name, isn't it? Chug, 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 puff, 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 ding dong, ding dong. The little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy train. All right. For she had such a jolly load to carry. Her cars were filled full of good things for boys and girls. There were toys, animals, giraffes with long necks, teddy bears with almost no necks, and even a baby elephant. Then there were dolls with blue eyes and yellow curls. All right. And dolls with brown eyes and brown bobbed heads and funniest little toy clown you ever saw. And there were cars full of toy engines, airplanes, tops, jackknives, picture puzzles, books, and every kind of things that boys and girls like you guys would want. But that was not all. Some of the cars were filled with all sorts of good things for boys and girls to eat. Big golden oranges, red-cheeked apples, bottles of creamy milk for their breakfast, fresh spinach. I'm not sure that's good to eat, though, for their dinner. Peppermint drops, lollipops for after-meal treats. Yeah. Had some spinach in there. You guys eat spinach? No, okay. You know, our president got in trouble one time for saying something bad about spinach. The little train was carrying all these wonderful things so that the good little boys and girls on the other side of the good little girls and boys on the other side of the mountain. She puffed along merrily. Then all of a sudden she stopped with a jerk. She simply could not go another inch. She tried and she tried, but her wheels would not turn. And it's engine number 7. Did you notice that? All right. What were all those good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain going to do without the wonderful toys to play with and the good food to eat? Here comes a shiny new engine, said the funny little clown who jumped out of the train. Let us ask him to help us. So all the dolls and toys cried out together. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Think this other little engine's going to help them out?
Yeah.
Okay. Please, shiny new engine, won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us. So it's good that he's coming to help, like all of us should help other people also. But the shiny new engine snorted, I'll pull you. I am a passenger train. I have just carried a fine big train over the mountain with more cars than you ever dreamed of. My train had sleeping cars with comfortable berths a dining car where waiters would bring whatever hungry people wanted to eat, and a parlor car in which people could sit in the soft armchairs and look out the big plate glass windows. I pull the likes of you, indeed not. All right. So the elephant and all of them are standing on this, and off he steamed to the roundhouse where engines live, where they are not busy. How sad the little train and all the dolls and toys felt. Then the little clown called out, "The passenger engine." All right. The passenger engine is not the only one in the world. Here is another engine coming, a great, big, strong one. Let us ask him to help. The little toy clown waved his flag, and the big, strong engine came to a stop. "Please, oh please, big engine," cried all the dolls and toys together. "Won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the good little boys and girls..." All right. "On the other side of the mountain won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the big strong engine bellowed, "I'm a freight engine. I have just pulled a big train load with big machines over the mountain. These machines print books and newspapers for grown-ups to read. I am a very important engine indeed. I won't pull the likes of you," and the freight engine puffed off. Man, this is getting serious. Nobody wants to help them. And the big freight engine pulled off to the roundhouse. The little engine, the little train, and all those dolls and toys were very, very sad. "Cheer up," cried the toy clown. "The freight engine is not the only engine in the world. Here comes another. He looks very old and very tired, but our train is so little, perhaps he can help us." So the little toy clown waved his flag once again. All right. And the rusty old engine stopped. "Please, King Engine," cried all the dolls and toys together, "won't you pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the rusty old engine sighed, "I am so tired. I must rest my weary wheels. I cannot pull even so little a train as yours over the mountain. I cannot. It's getting pretty serious, isn't it? What do you think they're going to do here? Man. And off he rumbled to the roundhouse, chugging, I cannot. Then, indeed, the little train was very, very sad, and the dolls and toys were ready to cry. But the clown called out, "Here's another engine coming, a little blue engine, a very little one. Maybe she will help us." The very little engine came chugging merrily along. When she saw the toy clown waving the flag, she stopped. Hey, that's the one that's on the front of the book, isn't it? Yeah. When she saw the toy clown's flag, she stopped very quickly. "What's the matter, my friend?" she asked kindly. "Oh, little blue engine," cried the dolls and toys, "will you pull us over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the good boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us. Please, please help." What do you think she's going to do? All right. "Please help us, little blue engine." "I'm not very big," said the little blue engine. "They use me only for switching trains in the yard." "Yeah, I have never been over the mountain before." "But we must get over the mountain before the children awake," said all the dolls and toys. The very little engine looked up and saw the tears in the doll's eyes, and she thought of the good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain who would not have any toys. or good food unless she helped. Then she said, "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." And she hitched herself to the train. She tugged and pulled and tugged and pulled. Slowly, slowly they started off. The toy clown jumped aboard, and all the dolls and toy animals began to smile and cheer. Puff, puff, chug, chug went the little blue engine. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I believe they're on their way. What do y'all think? Yes. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Up and up, faster and faster and faster, the little engine climbed until at last they reached the top of the mountain. Down in the valley lay the city. I wonder what the city's name was. Could it be Douglasville? All right. Down in the valley lay the city. Hurry, hurry, cried the funny little clown and all the dolls and toys. The good little boys and girls in the city will be happy because you helped us, kind little blue engine. Oh, I forgot to show you the picture. See, they're on top of the mountain. Yeah, they're up at the top. And the little blue engine smiled and seemed to say as she puffed steadily down the mountain, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could. All right, I think we're at the last page, and that is the end. All right, so they made it to Douglasville. All right. Well, thank y'all. We have time for questions?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right, you had your hand up first.
Is it an AI book?
No, they provided this book for me in your library up front. Well, they had a series of books, and all of us, there are a number of people reading here today.
I know because it got a good
And so they had this book up there, and as I was telling you earlier, it caught my eye because of my grandsons and Thomas the Train and everything, and I thought you guys might like to hear that. Okay. Yes, sir.
Are your children's birthday on the same day as each other's?
On the same day as what?
Each other.
No, they're not. One's in January, one's in June, and I have a new little grandson. Got 3 little boys. He's only 6 months old.
I have a little sister.
Yes, sir.
My birthday is in June.
In June. All right. So.
Questions, only friends.
Yes, sir.
I have a little sister. Her birthday is in June.
Is it? All right. Will you tell her I said happy birthday when that gets there?
She's about 15 months.
All right. Yes, family.
Is being the mayor hard work?
Is being the mayor hard work? Sometimes it is. Sometimes you just can't help people as much as you'd like to. And it's, we're in some pretty tough economic times right now, and but we're still able to provide good service to everyone who lives in the city. And I appreciate your mom and dad and all you guys having support, and all of our city council members. Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't the other trains in the book want to help the train engine that broke down? Why wouldn't they want to help him?
I'm not sure why they didn't want to help him, but they should have, because there was a real need, and all of us should at all times strive to help other people. That's very important, because oftentimes we may need some help ourselves. And so we have to be thankful for the little engine that did help, and we should always be like that little engine. When people ask us for help, if we can do that, we should do whatever we can.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
I'm calling 3 more people from my friends.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Destiny, your question?
Do you work in City Hall?
I do. My typical day is starting 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, depending on what meetings I might have. And some of those days are pretty long. We, for example, last night we got through, what time was it? 9:30? 10 o'clock, something like that. So it does make for some pretty long days, and And occasionally I'm out of town at various meetings. Day before yesterday, I was in Atlanta all day at the Atlanta Regional Commission. It's a 10-county area, and we're working on a new transportation bill to provide better roads and additional means of transportation in our area. So my job not only is working here in the city, but I'm a member of other organizations that try to help the entire region that we live in, the Metro Atlanta region.
Two more questions. We're going to call Javon, and then Becca will have the last question. Travis, put your hand down for me, please. Javon?
When you were little, did you want to be the mayor?
You know, when I was little, I had never really given any thought to being the mayor. And I'll tell you a quick story on actually how I became the mayor, or how I decided to run for mayor. I worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Atlanta. That was my full-time job. And I worked there for 24 years. But I lived here in Douglasville. We lived on Bright Star Road. And we have one daughter. And she was probably 6 years old, something like that. But I was always keenly interested and aware of what's going on in our community, like we should all be aware of what is happening and what our elected officials are doing, and have an opinion of what they're doing and try to help them as best you can, or provide input to enable them to make better decisions. And so being one that wanted to do that, I stayed as current as I could on things that were going on in our community. And many of you probably read the newspaper and you say, well, gosh, I wonder why they're doing this. Is this really in the best interest of our community or folks that live here? And I would say those kind of things. And so my daughter, 6 years old or so, challenged me one day. She said, Dad, you are very interested in what's going on, so why don't you run for office and try to help? And you know, I thought a lot about that, and I thought, you know what? She's exactly right. You shouldn't criticize. You shouldn't say bad things about other folks. But you certainly shouldn't do that unless you're willing to step forward and try to help yourself. And so I decided that that's what I should do. And so in 1995, I ran for a city council seat, which represents predominantly the property south of I-20, the mall, Chapel Hills, Saddlebrook, Arbor Station, some of those subdivisions, and I was elected the first time around, and then I served 4 years as a city council member, and at the end of that, in 1999, I decided to run for mayor, and I did, and I was elected, took office in January of 2000, and so I've been the mayor since.
How long has he been the mayor, friends?
10 years.
All right.
Becca, you have the last question.
What are your grandson's name?
Pardon me?
What are your grandson's name?
My grandson's name. My oldest grandson is Brent, and my middle grandson is Mitchell, is his name, and Parker is the little 6-month-old. Any other?
Mr. Thompson, can you give us some advice about school and how important school is? Because you were an attorney, is that what you said?
I worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office. I was a Director of Information Processing, which is the department that handles all of the computers and handles the in-courtroom presentation. In trials today, a lot of trials are very complicated. And it's important for the jury that's making the decision to really understand everything about the trial. And so one of the things that our department did is provide a lot of what the gentlemen that are here today, video presentations, charts and graphs and those kind of things that help the jury in order to make a decision. And I'll give you a small example. In very complicated money laundering cases, it's sometimes difficult to hear an hour or so of testimony and try to remember and figure out, well, the money was over here and they took the money and they put it here. So you'd have little charts, a big chart, and it would have the bad guy taking the money, and he takes it over here and he hides it. He gets some more money somewhere else, and so it helped the jury to reach their decision. And so that's what I did. I started my career in the Air Force as a computer programmer. And it was in the early days, really, now I'm telling how old I am, before computers are the way we understand computers today. They're very, very small. When computers first started off, they were really not the kind of computers we recognize today. They were more accounting machines that used IBM cards. I don't know if you've ever saw those. They had little holes punched in them. And so you manually handled these cards and fed them into the computers. And basically what they did was all the math functions. And they were predominantly at that time used for accounting and finance. And then later years they were used for all kinds of things, like launching all of our satellites and sending men to the moon. But it is extremely important that you learn as much as you can, because everything you do, even in your hobbies and the things that you enjoy doing, you need the math skills and the reading skills. And I'll give you a good example. The thing that I enjoy doing more than anything else is driving race cars. In my part-time or in my extra time that I have, I travel around the country racing cars on road racing. And so I do all of the work on those cars. And a part of working on something as simple as race cars, you need mathematical skills. And you need those skills to figure out when you're working on engines. You use all of the formulas and things that you're going to learn in your career in figuring out how to make those cars go faster and how to make those cars adhere to the racetrack as they go around, and calculating the centrifugal force and what size tires you're going to need. So in everything that you're going to do, not just your job, you're going to need those mathematical skills, you're going to need those reading skills, you're going to need all the skills that you're going to learn here. So please don't think that you're only going to need what you learn to do your job, because you're going to need it in every step of your life in the future. Thank you very much.
Mayor Thompson, on behalf of our class, we all made you a thank you card this morning. We found out that you were coming. This is for you, and go hang them all around your office.
Well, thank y'all very much. This is going to be dessert for lunch. Kit Kat. Well, thank you. It was very kind of you. It was my pleasure to be here. Well, thank you. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.